Monday Night Football, college edition. You got big boy football. You got Michigan. You got Washington. That's Monday night in Houston for the national championship. This will be a doozy. In fact, this whole playoff series has been phenomenal. Michigan's calling card is their defense. They go to the championship game averaging 240 yards per game allowed. Monstrously small numbers, 24 takeaways. The Warriors up front had 6 sacks and 10 tackles for losses against Alabama. Bama, can you believe that? J.J. McCarthy, the motion offense, creating mismatches all night long, just confused Alabama. They're going to cause problems for Washington because I don't think the Huskies have the same caliber of defense that the Tide had. But you got the running back, Blake Corum, who's now got 25 touchdowns on the season, catch and run. You got Roman Wilson with blazing speed. You got tight ends they throw to, and McCarthy will run some quarterback draws along the way. So Michigan is pretty tough defensively, pretty dynamic on the offensive side of the football. But so is Michael Penix. Over 4,500 yards passing this season, 35 touchdowns. Huskies are averaging 350 yards per game passing. Offense is averaging 473. And how good are they on third downs? 47% conversion rate on third downs. They got Rome Odunzie, outstanding wide receiver, 17 yards per catch. They got the massive pseudo tight end, Jalen Polk. They got Jack Westover. They got Jalen McMillan. They got every base covered in terms of given targets to Michael Penix. So here's the keys to the game. Can the Huskies go to a spread formation to change Michigan's defense? And while they're in spread, are they going to be able to protect Michael Penix? Can the Huskies go up-tempo, which they have a large chunk of the time, and wear out the Michigan defense? Michigan, they're going to play power ball with Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, run the football, and keep Penix off the field? Does it become a one-dimension game? If they take away whatever Washington is doing on the ground, can they defend the high-octane passing attack the Huskies still have? And can UW be explosive down the field if the pass rush gets to him and he's got to move the pocket to get out of trouble? Does that change the explosiveness of the UW offense? I just think it's going to be a phenomenal game. At the end of the day, you got a defense that causes trouble for Michigan. You got a Washington offense that torches people. I don't know who's going to win, but I bet it's going to be 45-43 somebody.
Something like that. I mean, yeah, because the Washington defense isn't all that great, is it?
396 yards per game, I believe.
Yeah, well, you got the data right there. So have the odds makers established a favorite? I would assume it's the Wolverines, right?
I would say by maybe 3 points. And again, I think that changes hour by hour.
Interesting. So that'll be a really close game. This is going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, I'm all in on the West Coast team. When was the last time a West Coast team won the NCAA championship in football? Like Reggie Bush era?
Reggie Bush era, and prior to that, Don James Washington, I believe.
Right.
And so that goes back 1,000 years.
Exactly. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But you know what's one thing I noticed is, and I've never heard anyone comment on this. I don't know if it's just my quirky way I see it on TV, but Michael Penix's, I guess his mechanics are a little odd, almost like Phillip Rivers throwing right-handed. He throws, it's almost like a sidearm throw in his windup. Have you noticed that?
A little bit. Also, at times I've seen him go big windup to make the play, and that's a negative because that's another motion, more time off the clock because people are closing in on you. He's not quick flick of the wrist.
Well, but I'll tell you what, the results are fantastic. Oh. I mean, the bombs, the high arcing, tosses, the bullets, the line drives. This guy has every throw nailed. I think he's going to be a great pro, but I hope he has a big day. I'm all in for the purple.
You're rooting Huskies.
Huskies all the way. I'm rooting for the Huskies.
I love what I've seen from Washington, but defense does win games. Would you hold it against me if I wore maize and blue?
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of other guys around here that and I know that are Ohio State guys. So yeah, you should roll in your maize and blue and kind of, yank their chain.
Okay. So we go from what I think is going to be a dynamic game, the championship game in Houston on Monday.